G'day. I know what you're probably thinking. What on earth is he doing inside a house? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm back in my own hometown and this is my apartment, so I'm luxuriating. I know I should be inside or near my caravan and cold and miserable and all that sort of stuff, but I'm just taking a little bit of a break, a couple of weeks. And as I say, outside it's raining and cold. I could take you down to the beach and you have the beautiful ocean, the rolling waves, but again, that's a big noise problem, so you don't want to have that noise in the background. This week's video is all about catastrophes. Now, I've had a few challenges, I must say, and three of them that are quite notable in this video. They were probably bordering on catastrophes, and one of them potentially could have been fatal. So the reason I'm showing this to you is I'm sure that if you can learn something from my experience, that's going to help you a lot. Now, how you can pad out these catastrophes, when I say pad out, if they happen, you can still get off reasonably unscathed. First one is have the best car insurance you can get, and I'm talking obviously comprehensive. Make certain you don't get a cheapie and then go to try and make a claim and they say, oh, well, the fine print says blah, blah, blah. So you get good insurance for car and caravan. Also, make certain you carry some spares, some important spares. And they might be, well, I've listed them, a couple of them at the end of the video. So that's your spares, your insurance. Good idea to have a tyre repair kit and learn how to use them. Now that would definitely save you quite a few dollars because you're bound to have a few, or certainly has, 1, 2 or 3 flat tyres on your trip. And if you can fix them up fairly quick and without drama, that would save you a bit of money. And the last one is a breakdown and recovery service. Make certain you get the best you can get. So I'm with NRMA and their top of the range is Ultimate. You might find out if you don't get the Ultimate, it might not cover the car and the caravan, and there might be all sorts of things. So you really need to look into that. And with the Ultimate Care for NRMA only, I don't know about the other ones so much, they allow you $4,000 to spend per year and per incident. So I managed to spend mine twice in 2 years and I got almost the full $4,000 worth. So you can learn a little bit about that in the video. Anywho, I'm starting to ramble on, so let's go. You travel enough kilometres and something like this will probably happen. So the main cranking battery has just died, like horrible death died, and the breakdown service has come out and said, yeah, nothing much we can do about it. Now, here's a slight catch, nothing I can do about it. The cranking battery is under warranty. It's about 18 months old, if that. It's got a 30-month warranty, but because they're a breakdown service, nothing they can do about it. They can put in a new battery, $250, $300, and I can sort out the warranty with someone else. Anywho, it is what it is, and life meanders on. So let's go and get warm and get ready to put a new battery in. Well, I've just pulled over because I need to give you a bit of a recount and share a bit of an adventure. Not necessarily the greatest. So my morning started, as you see, with a flat battery. Turned out the battery was so flat, it was throw in the bin flat. And there was a few dramas about that. All sorted, no worries, new battery, paying out the cash. And I drove round to the car place to get the receipt and parked the van and the car, walked up, got the receipt, come back to the car is full of smoke and smoke is billowing out the passenger window. What? So there's no point racing up the street trying to get their attention. I needed to disconnect the battery. So I got in, made certain that there was no flames coming out, opened the bonnet, disconnected the battery, and then the smoke started pouring out. Went back and told the guys, hey, the battery is put in, the car's practically on fire. So they meandered down and had a bit of a look and said, nah, looks all right to me. Anywho, I reported it back to the breakdown service. They phoned me back. They sent down, eventually about 15 minutes later, the boss came down, had a look at it. He said, oh, no, not sure what it is. Everything seems all right. I've disconnected all your accessories, which I'm assuming means I've got no music, no things that I love. But anyway, anywho, he did all that. And eventually he said, oh no, you should be fine. So I'm driving rather gingerly down the road, hoping that smoke won't come out. Then a road train comes up behind me, flying up behind me, and oh, it looks like he's going to pass me, so I pulled over as far as I could. He starts passing me, and I'll let the video tell you the story.
Where's the car coming from? Thanks, very just.
Just so you know, what I didn't mention, remember I said that the mechanic had disconnected the accessories? One of the things he disconnected was the trailer brakes. So when that road train cut in front of me, I put my foot on the brake, I pretty much had no brakes, and I had the caravan pushing me along the road at about over 80 kilometres an hour. So that was very, very stressful. Just to catch up to let you know where I'm at. So I've had the day off. The breakdown service has put me into a basic accommodation for, this is my second night. Car and caravan are in the repair shop with what seems like an open check, and there's very little I can do about it. I'm extremely anxious, but you know, it's got to be fixed. So just as a point for you guys, always good to have a budget set aside completely separate for such problems, but sometimes your budget's just got to be ginormous. Anywho, I wait to see the car and caravan are repaired and pay what I've got to pay. Is paydays. Well, here I am with another mini crisis. I believe I've got water in the diesel, which is the fuel, and the lights come on in the car to tell me that there's probably water there. And as I'm pulling over the side of the road, I've lost power, so that's probably also telling me. I don't want to move it any further, although I probably couldn't anyway. And contact the breakdown service, and they've been on the phone now for half an hour, still trying to get through to WA. Looks like it'll be another tow truck and off to one of the towns, and they'll have a look and they'll just do what they've got to do. Anywho, it wasn't really something I could predict or prevent. Water, bad water or bad fuel is just one of those things you've got to deal with, I guess. Well, I'd like to look excited and thrilled, but 10 days ago, this is when my big trip went down to the toilet, went down the hole. Everything went wrong. So basically what happened was I fueled up in Kununurra, Drove 150 kilometres and suddenly the car started losing power, and as it lost power, the light came on the dash indicating there was water or a contaminant in the fuel system, and it's then when I knew things weren't particularly good. So I didn't drive it any further. I phoned the breakdown service. They turned up, the usual tow truck, put the caravan, set up the caravan behind it, put the car on the back of the tray, and 150 kilometres back into Contaminated, then everything was checked out. So here's what went wrong. So the integral part of driving, especially out in the outback, is when you fuel up, sometimes you will get a little bit of water or a bit of contaminant, just a small amount, doesn't matter how much, but sometimes a small amount can sort of get through the system. And I've got the two fuel filters on my car. I've got a pre-filter. As well as that, I've also installed a second fuel filter, and the second fuel filter is, I think it's the main one. So the fuel comes through here, picks up any contaminants, then goes from here, picks up here. And any contaminants found there, then the light will come on to on the dashboard and say you've got contaminated fuel, and then you pull over. By the time the light came on the dashboard to say you've got contamination, at that stage then the power was, I was losing power in the car, pulled over, but it also happened so quickly, the damage was done. Then the injectors failed, the piston blew up and the engine died, and that's it. And the caravan was towed behind the tow truck, and that was it. At this stage, I must say the insurance company did come on board, and just as a warning for you people, don't always assume they do, because as I've spoken to a lot of people, I was very, very lucky to have got that payout. So they wrote the vehicle off, gave me the cheque for the full amount, and from there I had to locate a vehicle. So I only had a choice of either flying to Darwin or flying to Perth, because they are the two nearest places to find a car. Flying to Darwin was about 800 kilometres, flying to Perth was about 3,000 kilometres. So I also have to mention a great big thank you to one of my YouTube followers who put me onto this car, which was in fact in Darwin, and I flew to Darwin, and that's where I picked up the Ranger. Well, it's about 39 degrees here in Contaminated. Got up I've packed up my old kit bag and pillow and all that sort of goodies. Fly out from Contaminated to Darwin to look at a car. So it's a Ford Ranger Wild Track, 3.2 litre for those who are interested, and 6-speed automatic. G'day. Well, you've heard the expression, careful, the wheels will fall off. One of them actually did, caused all sorts of a drama. Now apparently it might have been able to be prevented. So stick with the video, and somewhere in the video right near the end I will tell you how you can probably prevent it. I'll also talk about some of the spares well worth taking, because if you get yourself in this situation, it's really good that you can have all the spares for the tow truck drivers, whoever can bolt it back on again. Anywho, for another adventure, let's go. Hi team, sorry about the flies. Now I've spent the whole day trying to catch up, so I've got at least one video ahead that you can watch during Christmas. So if I can jump ahead, that's fine. I've been in the caravan all day. I've just walked around the other side of the caravan, and you are not going to believe what I've seen. What I think has happened is the entire wheel has sheared off, leaving one wheel stud. The wheel's gone bush. And I don't know what damage. Kind of good news is what can happen sometimes when the wheel goes like that, don't forget it's dual wheel, dual axle. When the wheel goes like that, certainly on a single, what can happen is the axle and the brake and all of that mechanism can bounce down and then come up and literally rip the guts out of the side of the caravan. I have got some damage, definitely mucked up the brakes because when I spin the wheel, something's not right in there. Looks as though the springs are still holding. Done a little bit of cosmetic damage on the side. But it looks like another tow truck. Where to, I don't know. I think I'm about 500 kilometres from Adelaide and about 1,000 kilometres from Alice Springs, so I don't know what's going to happen. But seriously. Somewhat exhausting, but I'll get through it, and I guess you'll have a new story to read about and think about, and I'll need to just get on the phone and get all the people involved. Oh! Just to give you a heads up, so I contacted the insurance company. Strange. I contacted them, they said no problems. What you need to do is you need to contact and go and find a tow truck and get a quote for them, and go and find a mechanic who locally or someone nearby or maybe down in somewhere who can maybe do a quote on it, and then we'll have a look in the morning and just see what's happening. Strange insurance. All right, so I'm going to go to the pub now and see if I can find a mechanic who can repair caravans, and if not, a tow truck who can tow me somewhere. So with it, really nothing else to do, I phoned up the guy from Cooper Pedy who I'd had the car serviced with the day before. He said, look, I probably could, but you're better off going towards Adelaide. But he said, hold off. He said, I've got a mate who lives in Glendambo, which is where I was stuck. He said, I'll get him to come over and have a look, see if he can help you. Anywho, 9:30 the following morning, knock on the door. There's Peter, an 82-year-old. He had a look at it and he said, yeah, look, take off the hub, bring it over to my place and we'll have a look.
Actually, it's good because they're coming off real easy.
They are, aren't they?
Just a pity those bearings are different.
Okay, split the pins in. Now I pull that up. We give it a bit of a nudge with this thing. Then I think the only thing that goes on now is a cap would be good. Then the wheel, I guess. Okay, finger tight, they all look as though they're sort of pretty balanced. And now I'll get the spanner onto it, the wheel brace, and then I'll lower it and tighten it up. And I'll use my new torque wrench, 90 PSI, according to Peter. Thank you. Okay, now down goes the jack. There's an answer someone will have. Should you, when you put the jack away, should you let all the pressure out or leave it tight? I've just left it tight, hopefully that's right. Job finished. Well, there you have it, another wrap for the week. Hopefully you got something out of that, especially the bit about make certain you got the best car insurance, the best caravan insurance and the best breakdown service, because with those whole three that helped me a real lot in my scenarios. Yeah, look, whether they were catastrophes, it's a bit debatable. Certainly they were pretty miserable, especially the financial loss, but you get that. Now don't forget to get that little tyre repair kit as well, because it's quite a nice little learning curve. Sometimes a bit hard to get them repaired, but it's, you know, put your mind to it, especially out in the middle of nowhere. It's great to be able to get it fixed and cost you almost nothing. Now, if you found the video helpful, useful and or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, I shall wait. And if you think the video is worth sharing, that too would be great. So until next time, this is Paul Wheel Drive, signing off.